Welcome back, YouTube. Today for my '89 Camaro, I'm going to be replacing the throttle position sensor, or the TPS, and this is the BWD. I will put a link in the description like I do with all my videos. So this guy, that's the new one, he's going to be located up at the front of the engine, right next to the actual throttle. So what we're going to need to do first is get a Torx and take out both of these. Now that both of those Torx 25s are out, I can disconnect the connector here. So I pop this forward and push it out. There it is. 3-prong in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this out. I've got some electrical parts cleaner over here. Spray that in there, make sure it's nice and clean before I pop in the new one. So I have the new one on here, and I just barely snugged up, about hand tightened both the top and the bottom. So when I want to adjust it, I can move it around and it still stays in place like that, or down here, or maybe up a little bit more, depending. So this is what it's actually controlling. This one right up here, that is connected to the throttle cable, so whenever that's pulled, this will go down, and in turn will push this one down to control your idle. So the middle is what you want to be monitoring with your multimeter, and the best way to do that without stripping any kind of wires is to feed some kind of wire in there. What I have is I just stripped out some speaker wire, just the copper, and I put it in the middle just so it's touching that middle lead. See if I can zoom in on this. There we go, that's a better view. So I have some in there. It's probably can't see, but it's just, I made it into a little circle and shoved it down in there so it's touching, and then fed it out. So when I put it in, just enough to where it's touching all the leads, it doesn't have to snap all the way in, but nice and snug in there. Now I actually have that wire hanging out, so I can put my multimeter on some kind of ground, like over here. I can put it on this metal screw that's not painted, and then my positive onto there, and I can read the multimeter, which should be 0.54. So let's see where we're at. So next step, we get inside the car, throw the keys in, and turn it to the on position, but don't start the car. So there it is. I have that one bouncing on the wire. I have this one on the screw. Right now it's at 0.54. So I can do a tiny bit of adjustment to try to get it perfect, but once I do get it perfect, I'm going to tighten up the Torx on there. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm going to take this down, but this is something I ran into, is I pretty much have this thing all the way up as much as it can go. This one's all the way over and this one's all the way back, and I'm just at 0.54. This thing's been idling kind of screwy since I got it, and if you can't go any further and you still haven't reached 0.54, then you need to adjust the idling screw thing guy over here. If you see this screw right here pushing into it, that's closed. So when you step on the throttle, obviously it opens up and then it comes back down and it hits this screw. And as you move that, you can look over here and it moves that. So if it is not going down to its proper position, or maybe it's too far for you, then you just have to come to the inside in here. I probably can't get a good shot in here, but you can kind of see it. See if I can get my camera in there. And that is a Torx. Let me double check on which size that is, but you put a torque in there, and righty-tighty will make it further up, and loose will go back. So then this adjustment and this adjustment can all be made. Yep, there it is, T15. That's the size you're going to use if you do need to adjust that. Now that it's at 0.54, I tightened everything back up, rechecked it, because once you tighten it up, it'll move a little bit unless you really secure it, but make sure you check it again before you tighten it up. And then once it's still 0.54, you can take that little lead out, pop it back in, and turn your key back into the off position. Now it's set exactly where it needs to be, and you're good to go. Have fun, guys.